In today's session, we will be discussing about pneumonia, and we were discussing till now regarding respiratory disorders and diseases, and we will be continuing. Only 2-3 topics are remaining in that particular unit, and today's session we will be discussing about pneumonia. So, on examination point of view, also you can we can tell that it is one of the important topic in pediatrics. So pneumonia, little more detail we will be discussing this topic. So regarding the introduction, we can say that it is a form of acute respiratory infection that affects the lungs. And here the very important part which is affected is alveoli. So the lungs are made up of small sacs called alveoli. Usually it will be filled with air, and when the healthy person breathes, it will be filled with air. The alveoli will be filled with air, and where the gas exchange is happening. So when an individual has pneumonia, the alveoli are filled with the pus and fluid, and which makes the breathing painful and limits the oxygen intake. So actually it is supposed to be filled with air, but in pneumonia it is filled with pus, fluid, or any debris formed with this inflammation. So because of this reason, the person is not able to make proper breathing, and there will be oxygen intake will be, or oxygen exchange will be limited in that condition. So that is actually pneumonia. So regarding the incidence, when we are comparing the other reasons for death in children, it is the single largest cause of death in children worldwide. So every year it kills an estimated 1.6 million children under the age of 5 years, and according for 19% of all deaths of children under 5 years of old worldwide. So maybe during this corona period, this incidence may be increased because many of the people are dying because of the respiratory infections and pneumonia. So the incidence of pneumonia also is increasing, and death is also increasing worldwide. So this is considered as the single largest cause of death in children worldwide. So we can estimate that a child dies every 15 seconds from pneumonia in world. So that is a importance of this disease condition and the incidence of this condition. So we know that this alveoli is situated in the end portion or in the terminal portion of respiratory tract. So it starts from the nostril, it continues with the pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchus, bronchiole, and finally it is reaching the alveolus. So this is the air sac which can be seen in the terminal portion of the respiratory tract, where the air exchange is normally happening. So there are so many defense mechanisms before reaching the alveoli and after reaching alveoli to protect our respiratory tract against any inflammation. So it can be the presence of cough clearance in the airway, mucociliary clearance by the movements of the ciliary pattern of movements of the mucus, or mucus will be present, cilia is present, both will have the clearance of foreign body or any inflammation. And there are macrophages, neutrophils, lymphocytes, and these all will be producing cytokines and immunoglobulins to protect our respiratory tract and ultimately alveolus against any infection. So when these all defense mechanisms are crossed and when it is reaching the alveoli, the person will be getting pneumonia. So this is about the normal lung defense and how the bacteria or the virus or any etiological factor has to reach the alveoli to get infected. So regarding the definition once more, it is an inflammation of the lung parenchyma. So what is lung parenchyma? Parenchyma, normally when we are telling the parenchyma, that is a functional part of the particular organ or organ system. So when you are telling the functioning part or the fundamental functional part of the respiratory system, definitely it is the alveolus where the air exchange is happening. When you are talking about renal system, the renal parenchyma, it is the tubules or the nephrons. So that is a functional unit. So here in pneumonia, the functional unit of the respiratory system is affected. So that is the explanation for lung parenchyma, inflammation of the lung parenchyma. So functional unit of respiratory system is affected. The portion distal to the terminal bronchioles and comprising the respiratory bronchioles. So we can say that in pneumonia generally നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു പാർട്ട് മാത്രമായിട്ട് ഇൻഫ്ലമേഷൻ വളരെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. മുമ്പും റെസ്പിറേറ്ററി ട്രാക്റ്റിൽ പലയിടത്തും അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഇൻസിഡൻസ് കാണാം. So bronchioles will be the alveolar ducts, alveolar sac and the alveoli. So when these all are inflamed, it is known as the pneumonia. And one more term which is known as the consolidation of a part or the whole of the lung from an acute inflammatory exudate into alveolar spaces. So consolidation, it is nothing but air filled part is replaced with consolidation, that is debris or mucus or any other inflammatory products. So this is known as the consolidation. So next we can see the predisposing factors for pneumonia. It can be cranial trauma, convulsions, because we already discussed about the defense mechanism which is to be crossed by the etiological factors to get pneumonia. So some of the predisposing factors can be that can be cranial trauma, convulsions, CVA. It can be usually present in adults, and convulsions and trauma also can be there in children also. And the malnutrition, neuromuscular diseases, pain in the thorax, operation on abdomen may prevent cough due to infective inspiration and expiration. Then vitamin A deficiency, lack of breastfeeding, family history of bronchitis and any other respiratory infections. And now we have to write regarding corona also. Large family size, crowding, air pollution, and crowding which is happening in orphanages or dormitories also can be a cause. Then mucociliary transport is impaired, that is maybe because the infection has to reach to the down portion. If it is affected, that is mucociliary transport is affected. So it can be because of alcohol or smoking, and passive smoking especially in children, and viral infections. These infections cause necrosis of the trachea, bronchial tree, resulting in decreased mucociliary clearance. Then endobronchial obstruction from tumor or any foreign body comprise effective clearance mechanism. Then thick mucus from cystic fibrosis or chronic bronchitis made the transport system less effective. Then oropharyngeal flora, that most of the pneumonias arise from the aspiration of the contents of oropharyngeal flora. So these are some of the predisposing factors for pneumonia. So next is the etiology and classification of pneumonia. So pneumonia caused by specific infective agents. So that is a different types of pneumonias are there, and according to the specific agent. So bacteria, so many bacteria cause pneumonia: pneumococcus, streptococcus, staphylococcus, haemophilus influenza, klebsiella, pseudomonas aeruginosa, tubercle bacilli, escherichia coli, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So these all bacteria will cause bacterial pneumonia. Then the virus, we have to add coronavirus also, like respiratory syncytial virus, parainfluenza virus, adenovirus, cytomegalovirus, giant cell pneumonia, varicella virus, and also coronavirus. Chlamydia, psittacosis, ornithosis, mycoplasma, pneumonia. Then rickettsia, Q fever, typhus, smoky mounted spotted fever, mycotic infections like aspergillosis, histoplasmosis, blast mycosis, mucormycosis, sporotrichosis, oral thrush. Then protozoal infections like pneumocystis carinii, toxoplasma gondii, endemoeba histolytica. So these are some of the agents agent-specific pneumonia. So generally we can say that bacterial pneumonia, viral pneumonia, chlamydial pneumonia, mycoplasma pneumonia, rickettsial pneumonia, mycotic pneumonia, protozoal pneumonia. So these are the specific agent also. So next we can see pneumonias due to non-specific agents. So these infections like bacterial or viral pneumonia we can understand by proper investigations. So some non-specific agents are also leading to pneumonia like aspiration pneumonia. So in small children it can be amniotic fluid contents, then food and gastric acid, foreign bodies, kerosene, dust, hydrocarbons. So these all aspirations of these all materials can lead to aspiration pneumonia. Then postoperative and hypostatic pneumonia also can be there. Allergic pneumonias will be there. Pulmonary eosinophilia, philia, other parasitic granulomas. So these are the some non-specific agents which is leading to pneumonia. Next we can see some of the classifications of pneumonia depending upon the etiological factors. It can be infective or non-infective. So aspiration pneumonias are examples for non-infective pneumonia, and bacterial pneumonia is an example for infective pneumonia. So that is based on the etiological factors of pneumonia. Next is a RCH classification of pneumonia. So pneumonia is identified by fast respiratory rate depending upon the age group. So if the child is less than 2 months, more than 60 per minute of respiratory rate indicates the pneumonia. So 2 to 12 months period, if the respiratory rate is more than 50 per minute, then the person is with pneumonia. Then 1 to 5 years, if it is more than 40 per minute, then we have to suspect that the person is with pneumonia. And if there is no chest indrawing also, we can say that the person is with pneumonia. Then severe pneumonia, increased respiratory rate and chest indrawing will be there. Very severe pneumonia, central cyanosis, inability to drink, stridor when calm, and convulsions. So that is depending upon the severity, we can say that that is about the pneumonia, then severe pneumonia and very severe pneumonia. So we have in these conditions like more than 60 per minute, 50 per minute or more than 40 per minute, we have to suspect that the person is with pneumonia, and it becomes severe when there is 2 chest indrawings and increased respiratory rate. And very severe pneumonia, there will be other manifestations also. Then another classification is anatomical classifications. So it can be lobar pneumonia, bronchopneumonia and pneumonitis. So lobar pneumonia, one or more lobes of the lungs are involved. So here we can see the lobar pneumonia. So one lobe, entire lobe is affected, then it is known as the lobar pneumonia. Bronchopneumonia, that is patchy involvement of the lungs. So bronchiolar level, there will be different parts of the lungs can be affected, and then it is known as bronchopneumonia. That is in the left side, you can see the bronchopneumonia. Pneumonitis, that is alveoli or interstitial tissue between them affected. So in between the interstitial tissue is also affected, then it is known as pneumonitis. Then radiological classifications, it can be alveolar or airspace pneumonia, bronchopneumonia and interstitial pneumonia, that is based on the radiological findings. And others are congenital pneumonia, community acquired pneumonia, hospital acquired pneumonia. So these are some of the classifications of pneumonia. So here in this picture you can see entire lobe is affected, then it's lobar pneumonia, and spots, patchy spots can be seen in the bronchopneumonia. So this is about the classification. So we have seen the definition, incidence, predisposing factors, etiological factors and classification of pneumonia. We'll continue in the next video.